is the director and club sponsor, and the principal is Carolyn Ayers. So enjoy the entertainment. You're in for a real treat.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Doctors Inlet's Bucket Club, Ukulele Club, and Art Club. During our first performance, I will perform a live painting. And to the left of me, we have the 3rd and 4th grade emotional portraits are displayed. Most of you know, having children of your own, that we can be a little bit of a roller coaster when it comes to our emotions. So now, the 6th grade Ukulele Club will perform a fight song because no matter what, up or down, we must continue to fight in order to persevere.
The buckets were hand-painted by the students in our art club. The song Rise by Katy Perry reminds us that even though we may face struggles throughout our lives, we must keep pushing, celebrate the positives, and rise to meet life's challenges. I hope you enjoy our next song.
I won't just survive. Oh, you will see me thrive. Can write my story. I'm beyond the archetype. I won't just conform. No matter how you shake my core. 'Cause my roots, they run deep. Oh, you have so little faith. Don't doubt it, don't doubt it. Victory is in my veins. I know it, and I will not negotiate. I'll fight it, I will transform. When the fire's at my feet again, and the vultures all start circling, they're whispering, you're out of time, but still I rise. This is no mistake, no accident. When you think the final note is end, think again. Don't be surprised, I will still rise. I must stay conscious through the madness and chaos. So I call on my angels. They say, oh, you have so little faith. Don't doubt it, don't doubt it. Victory is in your veins. You know it, and you will not negotiate. Just fight it, and be transformed. 'Cause when the fire's at my feet again, and the vultures all start circling, they're whispering, you're out of time, but still I rise. This is no mistake, no accident. When you think the final nail is in, think again. Don't be surprised, I will still rise. Don't doubt it, you know it, still rise. Just fight it. Don't be surprised, I will still rise.
Let's give them another hand. That was fantastic. Boys and girls, you just made Dr. Zinlet proud. if y'all want to stay for the board meeting, you're more than welcome. But if you want to pick up your student and leave, we will not be offended. We understand. Okay. The invocation tonight will be led by Reverend Patrick Martin, the senior pastor at Russell Baptist Church. Thank you. And he will also lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. What?
Father, we thank you for tonight. Thank you for a country that we are free to gather, that we are free to pray. God, we thank you for your blessings on us and on this country. God, I thank you for Clay County. God, a county I grew up in, that I went to public school in Clay County. I thank you for this school board. God, how you are... God, how you're working in our county, God, how we are constantly seeing kids being challenged to strive and go higher and higher. God, we know that your blessings are on this county, and we thank you for that. Father, we pray that tonight, as business is done, that will affect the lives of our children. God, that you would be in and amongst every decision that is made. God, that they would seek your face. As just below the seal of the school board are the 4 words that say, "In God we trust." Father, may that not just be a motto, may that be a creed that we live by. God, may your glory and your honor be everything that we strive for. God, do great things in this room tonight. God, may there be a sense of unity. May there be a sense of purpose, that good things may happen for your glory and for our good. We pray these things today for your kingdom and your glory. Amen.
Amen.
All right, would you join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Martin. And let me tell you, Reverend Martin has a legal excuse to leave. This is his wife, Allie's birthday. Happy birthday, Miss Martin. Now, you go and enjoy your dinner. Happy birthday. Sizzler. The Clay County School Board meeting, January the 8th, 2019, will come to order. Welcome, citizens of Clay County. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend tonight's school board meeting. This meeting is our opportunity as your elected representatives to collaborate openly and make decisions that will decide the future direction of our public schools and the education of our children here in Clay County. If you wish to address the board, there will be an opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. Please fill out a card, which you will find located in the back of the room. Indicate the specific item or topic you wish to speak about and turn it in promptly. You may turn your cards into Mr. Bickner, our attorney. If you raise your hand, Mr. Bickner. Okay. No additional cards will be accepted once the board moves to the public comment section under presentations from the audience. Your participation is welcomed and appreciated. And let me note for the record that Mrs. Gilhausen is not present tonight. First, our recognitions and awards. Recognize Clay All-Star Athletes of the Month, Mr. Mike Wingate.
Good evening, Superintendent, board members. Thank you for this time that we get to recognize some of our just unbelievable students. And we just want to take this time. We've got most of them here. We actually have some students who may not be here because they're in events tonight, everything else, which is great, everything, okay? We want to start off in no particular order, but something we call the Clay County Athlete of the Month. First of all, I want to thank the superintendent and his staff, my fellow staff members. They have been so supportive in some of the new programs that we're doing. And this is one of those. Just to tell you just a little bit about it, this is a program we started this year along with the athletic directors who just put in hours and hours. They don't get enough credit. But we started it this year, and this is a program where we recognize one male athlete, one female athlete each month. The athletic directors work with their coaches at the school. They get nominations from their coaches, and then they narrow it down to one, and then they send it in to the district, to myself. It has to be athletes that are in season, a sport that's going on at the current time. And like I said, they send these nominations. So we have 7 male, 7 female each month that are sent in. Now, here's the criteria that we are looking for. And I can tell you that I'm going to be a little biased here on this thing. I didn't want the athlete that, scored 35 points last night, had 250 yards rushing. This is called the Clay County All-Star Athlete of the Month. This is truly an all-star. So when you look at the criteria, yes, it has to do with sports. So outstanding athletic accomplishments. But we're also talking to our kids about sportsmanship. So we wanted the athletic directors and the coaches to pick people who demonstrate a great sportsmanship during games and in practice on a daily basis. We wanted them to have a strong work ethic and demonstrate leadership abilities. And then finally, and this is certainly not the least important, this is the most important, we wanted them to perform at a high level in the classroom. So they had to have a 3.0 GPA or higher. As you know, FHSA requires just a 2.0. We said, no, we want these people to be much higher. And I can tell you, when you get these 7 male and 7 female nominee, the form that they send in to me, it is simply outstanding what our young people are doing. So what we do is we end up selecting one of each month. We do a little interview. We're going to show you just a short film clip of a video in just a second. The schools, the ones who aren't chosen, they're recognized by their schools on the announcements. Usually it's done at lunchtime, so you got, cafeteria full of kids in there. We invite them to the end of the year Clay County Coaches Team Banquet ceremony where they'll be recognized. And then, of course, as we're doing tonight, we'll recognize them at the school board. We'll do one in the spring also. So let me just show you, and I want to thank Ms. Nicole Snyder. She has been such a big help in getting the pictures, videos, putting it on the board, on the district website and all that kind of stuff. We go to each one of the selections, and we make a short video. So it gives them a chance to be in front of the camera, and they have to answer some questions. And we put this on the website so you can see all 8 that have been chosen so far. So right now, let's just look at just a short video here. Clay County, we are at Middleburg High School, home of the Broncos. Principal Roger Daly and Athletic Director Alan Powers, another one of our great schools in Clay County. And we've got another Athlete of the Month, All-Star, Mallory Roney. Mallory plays a couple sports. Mallory, congratulations, first of all, and everything else. We got your picture on the wall. Mallory, how's it feel when you walk by and you see a picture of yourself here in the hallways at Middleburg High School?
It's pretty cool because, not everyone gets to have the opportunity to be, like, everyone in school see you, that you play a sport, to be recognized for that. It's pretty cool. You
don't play just one sport, you play 2. In fact, in today's time where athletes tend to be specializing, your athletic director told me that it's great that you excel at 2 sports. Not besides volleyball, what else do you play?
I play basketball, and that definitely helps me with volleyball. Like, the sports go hand in hand. So.
And you played, this is your 4th year as a senior, 4th year playing volleyball and basketball and everything, so a lot of success. Tell us about basketball first. What position do you play in basketball?
Well, in basketball, I really play everything. Like, since I'm tall, I can go down low, but I can also, like, dribble and shoot to be a guard. Because when I was little, I was short, so I started out playing a guard, but since I'm taller now, I play post, forward, all that.
Hi. Each one of those is usually about 4, 5, 6 minutes long, and it's just fun working with the kids on that and seeing them interact. Nicole can attest to this. We've done 8 so far. We've only had to reshoot 1. So they've done a great job and everything else. And so that's what we're here tonight, just to recognize those students. Again, the emphasis is on not only what they're doing athletically, but what they're doing in the classroom and leadership. So I just want the board and the superintendent to know we put a lot of emphasis on that. So we've got them here tonight. So we're going to call their names out real quick. First of all, the August Athletes of the Month, and some, again, may not be here, but we've got Emily Luce of Keystone Heights. Is she here? There she is. Come up here, Emily. We've got Alexander Warner of Oakleaf High School. We get into September, Michael Linton of Ridgeview High School. Anna Magruder, also of Ridgeview High School. All right, we get into October. Landon is not here. He's got a soccer game tonight, so we're going to excuse him. We'll introduce him at the next meeting. Everything. So,
Wait,
but is he here? All right, Landon. I was told you were going to be here. Huh? Okay. All right. Good. Keystone Heights, a golfer, Camille Jackson. And we're up to November. The rest of them will be, like I say, in the spring for the November athletes. Daniel Hinkle of Orange Park High School. And the young lady that you saw in the video from Middleburg High School, Mallory Roney. And I'll bet she's got a game tonight also and everything. Superintendent, can you come down and just get a quick picture of this sharp-looking group there and everything? So while Nicole takes a picture. Guys, get together real tight. All right, thank you. Another round of applause for this group, folks. Look how sharp they look. Guys, thank you, okay? Thanks for showing up, all right? All right, thank you to those athletes. Landon's got a game to go to. Landon, good luck tonight, buddy. Go ahead and have a seat, okay? As I mentioned to you, part of the criteria, we want to see them out there in the community doing things, so they turn in information about volunteering, and it's just amazing to read what this group's doing. And all of the ones, even the ones that aren't selected for district, the other ones are just outstanding. You could choose any one of them, and you'd be choosing a winner and everything else, okay? All right, let's move on. Certainly just as important, but we want to recognize tonight our academic team champions. They're here tonight as well. They're doing it in the classroom. They're doing it out there in our clubs and all this kind of good stuff. All of you are aware of our academic team championships. We have high school, junior varsity, and junior high. Of course, our high school students, the all-county team, will be going to Orlando in the springtime for that competition. When they get back, we'll see how they've done. We'll be at a board meeting and just introduce those folks. But for tonight, to introduce the champion schools for this year's academic season, we've got our liaison between the district and the schools. He is also a moderator. Mr. Remsen has worked for many years with the academic teams. He's going to introduce the teams and award the trophies. So, Mr. Ken Remsen.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wingate. I appreciate that. Thank you for allowing me to do this evening. What I'd like to do is, again, introduce the coaches of the actual champions in their specific category, and then they'll also bring up their teams. Each of the coaches will introduce their teams very quickly, and then we'll move on to the next category. So at this time, I'd like to invite up Mr. Lawrence Staholski and Mrs. Melissa Patterson, and bringing up the Orange Park Junior High School academic team. Come on down.
Yeah.
Mr. Davis, would you mind?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to photobomb you.
No, please. Come right on in.
Stand up here, a little taller. I'll be short.
Okay. And Mr. Staholski, did you want to introduce your team really quick? Absolutely, please do.
This year, we were 5-0 county champs. Returning player James Gosley, 8th grader Kylie Hammonds, Kathleen Kivett-Smith. We've got Layla Morford and Stella Owens. Newbies this year, 8th grader Aya Osman and Asma Hassan, both 8th graders, and 7th. Oh, I didn't forget. 8th grader Joseph Gonzalez. 7th grader Eliza Lucas, my co-coach, Miss Patterson.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And Coach, that's all you do. Excellent. All right. Thank you very much. So our next category is the junior varsity at the high school level, and I'd like to invite Mr. Gregory Martin and the Oak Leaf High School academic team as junior varsity champions. Come on down.
You're a camera high. Yeah, you need to be down there. You did one. You got to do them all.
Quickly introduce your players, and we'll get a photograph.
At the JV level, obviously, these 9th and 10th graders. So I do have one 9th grader, Matthew Cruz. And then the rest are my sophomores, Leon Lee, Chloe Dupree, Andrew Davis, Jerron Johnson, Willie Justice, Zaria Simmons, and Maggie Davis.
All right, thank you. Okay, and last but not least, I'd like to invite under the varsity high school category, I'd like to invite Coach Mrs. Julie Miller and her team from Ridgeview High School.
Busy. A lot of our team members are in the IB program, so they have their CAS hours to do and other things going on for volunteering, team sports, etc. But I'm glad to have with me tonight Paula Osman, Nathan Kaufman, Lucas Cathy, Hunter Click, and Kyle Bisson. I'm very sad that these 3 are seniors and will not be with me next year. Lucas and Kyle, they've been with me since they were freshmen. So, anyway, we have a fantastic team, as obviously, because we won.
Way to go, Julie.
My job is just to set up the rehearsal time, tell them to dress nice at the matches, and get out of their way because they're brilliant. And so, congratulations to this wonderful team.
Go.
Thank you.
Mr. Miller, before you sit down, would you walk up here?
Oh, no, what did I
Come here. I want to see. Hey, I want to see your feet. Okay, you may go sit down. There was a Facebook post. He went to school this morning with 2 different colored shoes on, so I wanted to see if he had gone home and changed. Is that it? Okay. He wore 2 different colored shoes. All right, where's your... Okay.
All right. Good evening.
We'll give the, oh, excuse me. We have no presenters. Our showcase tonight, boy, Dr. Zinlet is on the map tonight. Yeah. All right, Dr. Zinlet Elementary School, Carolyn Ayers, principal. Now, you're going to have to go some to beat the Bucket Club.
Yeah, they're hard to beat. Every time I
and
see
the
them.
Ukulele Club. They're wonderful.
I told her we would ask her some data questions after she's finished too, right?
Oh, goodness, please don't do that. All right, good evening, school board members, Mr. Davis, and families of Clay County. It is my honor as principal of Doctors Inlet, alongside with my assistant principal, Ruth Casillas, and all of our teachers, to celebrate Doctors Inlet Elementary School with you. Doctors Inlet is an established neighborhood school built in 1977 with second and third generation of families attending here. We are a staple in the community, and fun fact, we have the first post office in Clay County on our campus. Through the hard work and dedication, last year, Doctors Inlet was able to move up school grades to become an A school. Our 6th grade had the highest Lexile growth in the county for the month of November, gaining 95 Lexile points. And during FSA last year, classrooms who implemented Eureka had 100% learning gains with our lowest quartile of students. To improve teaching and learning this year, we redesigned our PLCs based around educational topics our teachers chose. We partnered with other Clay County schools to improve opportunities for our staff to observe master teachers in the county. This, alongside with increased communication, data meetings, and staff recognitions, helped to improve the climate and culture of Doctors Inlet. To start the year, we met with each grade level to discuss their achievements. We celebrated our 4th through 6th grade students who made great gains on FSA, celebrating their efforts on a job well done. We implemented hot celebrations for students who were here and on time every day. And our must-day morning labs are open lab times for students to come in and get extra help before school. Our primary grades build the foundation for all learning that takes place. Teachers implement hands-on activities, provide student engagement, teach social skills, and incorporate STEAM activities into their classrooms to build a love of learning. Our middle grades continue this work with real-world activities, and students begin to take ownership in their learning. And our 5th and 6th grade students set the example for others to follow through opportunities provided here. We help them prepare for the 21st century of learning. And don't forget about our resource teachers. They support classroom standards by creating activities which enhance academic knowledge, all while having fun. Music students are coding in class. Art classes incorporate math and science in all their projects, and STEAM is infused during media and PE times. Speaking of STEAM, students are exposed to the problem-solving process, collaboration, critical thinking skills, and hands-on learning. Now, employers look for students who are creative, who can problem solve, and have good communication skills. Think about it. Some of the jobs that are created today, we haven't even been created yet. We are preparing them for the future. Our families, business partners, and community members came together to beautify campus before the start of school. There is no better feeling than coming back to a clean and updated campus in August. During Donuts for Dads this year, families became kids again, building with Legos, drawing with chalk, and STEAM activities in the Media Center. But one of the most exciting things about this activity was families were engaged with each other, learning, laughing, building, and having fun together. Our Veterans Day program this year paid tribute to America's heroes. All grade levels and several of our clubs participated in this event, including Ridgeview High School's Junior ROTC. At the end, each branch of the military was recognized and awarded thank you cards from our students to honor and celebrate their heroism. One of the overwhelming notes from parent surveys over the summer was there was nothing for our younger students to do at Doctors Inlet. We had chorus and track and all these events for the older kids, but the younger kids wanted to be involved. So we changed that this year. We offer both year-long and 9 weeks clubs for our students in kindergarten through 6th grade. The most well-attended clubs are actually our younger clubs, such as Fun and Fitness Club, Sign Language Club, and Mo Williams Club. These clubs help our students to feel a sense of pride and community at Doctors Inlet. Even though we improved leaps and bounds over the past several years, there are still opportunities for growth. We will focus on learning gains for our lowest quartile of students. We'll work smarter by cross-curricular teaching in all of our subjects, and we will help students to increase their ownership learning by setting goals and helping them to track their progress. We are here to take Doctors Inlet to the top of the county. We will continue to improve our student learning with rigorous classrooms and student engagement. We will build opportunities for our struggling students to gain assistance through small group instruction. And we will build strong community and business partnerships through our teamwork. Finally, we will build a mentoring program to help in all aspects of our children's lives. And I'll leave you with this, our final quote of the night. Children are the building blocks of our future. Let's help them build something beautiful. Thank you for your time and the opportunity to share Doctors Inlet with you.
Excellent. Excellent presentation. Thank you so much. Mr. Davis, did you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am, through the chair. Ms. Ayers, I will tell you, your staff is here tonight, and I know many of you wish they all could be here, but a lot of green in the audience tonight, and just shows that they are rallying behind you and they care about you. So you really do a good job with providing instructional focus, but also providing the right support that Doctors Inlet continues to need. And I am proud of your leadership, and I'm proud of the staff that continues to support you, and look forward to great things under your leadership. So thank you. And Ms. Casillas, thank you too.
Boy, Doctors Inlet is really shining tonight. Very good. This is the last call for comment cards. Does anyone else want to turn in a card? Okay. Presentations from the audience. We do not have any. Adoption of consent agenda. Items C7 and C14 were withdrawn. I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Ms. Bola, a second by Mrs. Karakas. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say no. Motion carries 4-0. Ms. Bullock,
I'm trying. It's just not cooperating this morning.
do you need some computer help?
No, just enter. Is that what you do? Okay.
Or Oh, no.
I did that too.
Over and over, I know.
Do you want me to get someone from computers here? Or we need a little help.
No,
And
she
we
got
don't?
it. She got it.
Oh, we did? Okay, we're
Thank you.
good. Okay. CCEA update, there is none tonight. Ms. Paiva is ill. CESPA update, anyone here from CESPA? Okay. Superintendent's update and presentations.
Yes, ma'am.
How many slides have we got tonight?
I'll tell you that it's pretty healthy this evening, but lots to cover. So thank you. Once again, every month we try to make sure that we highlight some important initiatives and projects that we're taking on under, within the county in order to continue to communicate to the community about what's working and what we can continue to improve. This month, I'd like to talk about current graduation rates for Clay County, and then talk about the open controlled enrollment window that will launch in this month, and then discuss the state of schools and discuss Business Plus, and then identify our champion of change for the month of January. As you know, in the last couple of weeks, graduation data came out, and as you can see, this slide right here shows a tremendous number of highlights within the organization. This is all contributed to the great teachers, support staff, leaders, college career coaches, staff at the school who have worked tremendously hard to make this a reality. And you see that it's a 2.3% increase from last year, and overall in the last 2 years is a 6 percentage point increase. And I have to say, while it's a hard work of every one of our students and parents and caregivers and teachers and school counselors, I have to say Terry Connor has done a fabulous job putting systems and processes in place to make that happen. He's the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum Instruction. In addition, you see over the last since 2011, you see a 16.5% increase within Clay County, which is significant growth. We see that we continue to outpace the state as relates to our graduation rate, and for the first time ever, we've had a record high of reaching over 90% of our students graduating in Clay County. Here's just a 6-year analysis that shows our trend, and we continue to have a trajectory that puts us in a positive manner. And then we will continue to build on this as a foundation as we continue to grow these numbers and make certain we are preparing our students to be full option graduates every single year in Clay County District Schools. As relates here, another trajectory, you see our comparison to the state. We continue to have, as you see, the state continues to have an upward tick, but so does Clay County. And we continue to have separation between our numbers of the rates we are graduating students, along with the graduation rates related to the state of Florida as well, with all 67 counties. This is really a slide here. You see that this is a number of our areas of focus that talks about our subgroups of our students, at-risk students with disabilities, students of multiple language, and also economical disadvantaged students. You'll see that 8 of the 9 areas we demonstrated an increase, which is a tremendous work by our staff internally at our schools. One of the highlights I want to see that we are graduating we had greatest gains we had 8 percentage points increase with students with disabilities, and we moved from 74% to 82%. We're showing that our kids are really working hard to differentiate instruction to make sure that we have quality services to every kid within this organization. In addition, we also see that we had students who are 2 or 3 races, that we are moving them up as well with a 4.6 increase, with a 94.5% of those students are graduating within Clay County. Here's another subset of students that we look at risk disabilities, ELA, just a graphic to see that we moved 3 out of 4 of these areas. We still have work to do with our English language learners subcategory. We moved it in the year before, but this year we have to look at our cohort and figure out what additional supports that we can provide to help those learners. So that's an area of opportunity. But overall, if you see in the last since 2011, you see the comparison to like-sized counties, and since 2011, we've had a 16.5 area of increase, and we're trying to close the gap between us and other counties that are like-sized counties, such as St. Lucie, and Alachua, and Escambia, who have we rank 4 out of those 8 areas, those 8 counties. But we'll continue to work hard to make sure that we are striving to be have the greatest growth and to be the #1 county in the state related to that. If you look at our overall schools, we see that every one of our schools made significant growth. We had one school, the Fleming Island, that had a decline, but when you have to look at the actual graduation rate, they had 97% of their students graduating, which is significant, and that is that is hats off. They still continue to be the school that has the greatest amount of students that were graduating in a large population, so hats off to them. But overall, you see the tremendous growth that we have at every one of our high schools and the hard work that's being demonstrated by our teachers and our leaders as well. And then next steps, what do we need to do? We need to continue to make sure we refine the tracking tool to make sure that students look at their academic history to make sure that they are moving in the right direction with a cohort of the learners. We will continue to have monthly conferences with Terry Connor, with leaders, school-based leaders, to problem solve about how do we increase graduation rates and make certain students are ready for college readiness. In addition, we'll make sure we continue to utilize our ACT and SAT boot camps that we infused last year, which shows that this resource has been tremendous for our students to hit concordance scores, so they are prepared to graduate, but also be able to compete not only locally, but nationally as well. In addition, there is, we will continue to, areas of opportunity for us and also next steps. We just launched Elevation Academy today at Bannerman Learning Center, which took place of Catapult. We're doing it internally. We have the staff and the ability and skill set now to do it. We had 60 seats that were available, and we had 40 students that were in place today at this school to identify kids who are at risk to help them graduate on time. In addition, we'll continue to use Khan Academy as a blended learning resource for our students that also has the SAT preparation part. And then we'll look at having SAT in our school within the school day, which is bringing it back to Clay County so that we can maximize students. We can get them while they're there. As you know, SAT and ACT is usually on the weekend, but if we can bring it to our schools and provide additional timing for our kids, we get quick wins and students have extended time when they take SAT during the day as well. So we'll continue to offer that to our seniors, and I'll talk Mr. Conner into figuring out if we can grow that to our juniors as well. Post-secondary, another highlight that we see that we continue to celebrate in Clay County is that we see that students are obtaining the concordance score for SAT and ACT in reading and mathematics. And we see significant growth in the area of reading for students being post-secondary ready from 76 last year to 82, with a 6% increase, and also in the area of mathematics from a 57 to a 67 with 10% increase. So we have greater preparation for our students as they transition outside of our doors and go and compete for post-secondary or the military or through the collegiate aspect or the workforce. This is just another graphic that shows an upward trend, and we'll continue to measure that to make sure we're doing have the great supports for our students. Another area we want to talk about this evening is controlled open enrollment. This is the season for school choice. As you know, the school choice week will start on January the 21st. So we thought it was just appropriate to make certain that we offer controlled open enrollment in Clay County in the same week. We will launch our initiative. Controlled open enrollment is really it's a requirement by the state with statute of 1002.31, which really allows us to have greater access to students to other schools within our community. The school districts must establish a threshold for capacity, and in Clay County, we've adopted 85% as a collective to identify that as a threshold, meaning we have a 15% area of growth within our schools. But any school that's under the 85% threshold becomes open for open enrollment, not only for kids within the county, but for students who are in the surrounding counties as well. And overall, it's just this initiative is really pushed to make sure that we give parents more opportunity, educational offerings for their students. And again, we go back to the window from January 21st, it will launch, to February 22nd. And you can go on our website at OneClay, at oneclay.net. That will give you more information as we upload that and talk about the applicational process. For schools that are opening this year, we see that we have holistically a little bit over 1,200 seats available within our school district. We see that we have around 242 seats at the elementary model, 200 seats that will be in the at the junior high school, and then we see that we have around 800 plus seats that will be open at our high school level as well. So if you're interested in attending a school that's on this list, there's an application process that parents and students may complete, and in that process, we'll be able to look and apply and see if there's available seating at these schools. For example, I leave this this slide up because at Argyle Elementary School we have 20 seats available. But if we, through the applicational process, if we have students, 18 students apply, that means that all 18 will be granted access to that school. If we have 25 students that apply for Argyle Elementary School, then we'll have to transition to a lottery process within the school district and identify students to identify those who are awarded the seats for the school in order to move forward. Per state statute, there's an ranking order for the lottery process that we look at, and the priority is in this exact order. Any military families who have military orders that are required to move, they get first priority. And then we'll go to individuals that have been relocated from foster care or relocated due to court order. And then a final mechanism we look at for the lottery process is identify students who are residing within our school district to provide them the opportunity, if their seats are available within the organization after those 3 tiers. So, you know, if we look at the timeline right now, the timeline is January 21st. We'll launch the window for this initiative with controlled open enrollment, and it will end on February the 22nd. Notifications for those who have been accepted will start after March 22nd. That gives us an opportunity to look if any lottery processes have to be put in place by staff. And then, as you see, we have a special transfer option window that will come on board with it within the organization, and also potentially reassignments as well for any timeline. So for those of y'all who are watching within the county who seek that you may have a different offering that you are attracted to, please take advantage of this, and we look forward to educating your children in every way that we can. Also this month is our State of Schools. Next week, next Tuesday night, we have the State of Schools address, and this is an opportunity for us to really look at a year in review, to look at what's working, what's not, what we can do differently, and really unpack our strategic plan to see how well we did, and did we meet our goals and our targets and our initiatives, and then talk about what potential next steps will be within this organization in order to become the #1 state within the state of Florida. The target audience is pretty much everyone. We tell you this is for board members, district staff, teachers, local representatives, community members, educational partners, support factors, and community stakeholders. And we're really looking to have an overall review of annual report, to really do a self-study, a self-reflection, to acknowledge partners in our work, and really get everyone within this community excited about, you know, our successes, our accomplishments, our next steps, so that our vision really permeates in every household, so everyone can work collectively in order to prepare our students for the future educationally. So again, it'll be on January 15th, next Tuesday evening from 6 to 7:30 at the Thrasher Horn. And those who are RSVP, you can do it at State of Schools at myoneclay.net for those who are interested in attending. Another area that we have is Business Plus. You may have heard of the last couple of years, there's been a transition from the legacy terms, and we are transitioning from the terms, which has been our platform. And I know Dr. Legecko and Ms. Richardson are like, oh, we got to talk about this. And the answer is yes. And we have transitioned to Business Plus. Will be effective here coming up in the next week. Business Plus, as you know, terms was the conversion that held all of our information about our employees for payment through HR, through process, and that will be transitioned on January 10th. This is coming up, so I want to make sure that all employees know that our first payroll cycle will be on January the 15th. Everybody have your seatbelts on, chin straps buckled, and ready to go. Please don't stand outside the State of Schools and let us know that you have issues that night. We got to change our date, but that's the pay period. We can't change that. But I want to make sure that faculty and staff and community know that I will be sending reminder emails out this week, and also payroll guides to really help individuals understand the process, how the Business Plus will interact, and what we forecast for the 15th. As you know, with any new system that's coming in, we wish we can be perfect, but I can openly tell you that we will forecast we'll have some barriers and some hiccups. Due to the barriers and hiccups, immediately on the 15th, if anybody in this organization sees there's anything wrong with your payroll, anything wrong with the information that's uploaded in the system, we will be open. We're going to open up a Business Plus hotline that starts at 6:30 in the morning. So, I know the early risers, if you want to go and log in as quick as you can and see if there's something that's going on with your pay stubs, please let us know, call us. We'll be there from 6:30 to 4:30, and we're there to really, truly help you. And we will be there, and this hotline will be open to February the 5th. Many thanks to Jeremy Bunkley and his team, and Dr. Legecko and her team, and Mr. Broski's team for working collectively to make this happen, along with Mr. McCauley as well. We know that they're really here to help you. And that number, if you can call, is 904-335-0100. Please call us. We're here. If we have to get to a point where any issues you have, we promise to look into. And if we get to a point where we really need to create and cut manual checks, our staff is willing and ready to do so to provide great support. So know that we're here. We're here to support you. Look for the communications that's coming out. And, fingers crossed that everything's going to be okay. I know our staff has worked diligently and countless hours on this, countless years, I believe, on this initiative. So they have really worked hard, and I'm proud of their work and look forward to this new system transitioning us to a 21st century mechanism where we really can do the work. But this is really the hard part. So keep your eyes on it, and we're here to help you in any way that we can. Lastly is Champion of Change. And if you don't mind, Chair and Board, I'd like to transition down here for this. Through the chair, thank you. I'm glad this works. First time. Just kidding. Tonight, every month I identify a challenge of change, and we talk about little deeds, huge impact. And there's so many people that I can bring up here every month to highlight the great work of our employees. And I tell you, every month you just are amazed by the cohesiveness, the support systems, and within the school district and within this community. And I've had the pleasure to watch an individual work over the last 2 years who truly has a huge heart for kids. And not only works for a giant organization through SEDNet that brings emotional impact and supports to our learners and those in need, but this individual goes over and beyond the call of duty to help individuals in this community. And if you may have noticed, there was a really cool, neat initiative for, to help students and community members in need during the holidays, and it's called Tad's Toys. And this individual, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, has put together a toy drive in remembrance of her son. And to show that she truly cares about Clay County community, and really gives a remembrance of this individual who was a great person and I believe Orange Park alumni as well. So she goes over and beyond for this community, and she's put together this toy drive that is impacting so many of our students, so many of our families, and that is not a part of her role and responsibility, even though she really helps at-risk students every day within our community in the Northeast Florida. But she put this event together on December the 15th. It was held at Orange Park Elementary School and had such great response, with over 270 students and kids and families were impacted by what she has done in this initiative. But she brings more than this initiative for extending a gift to these students. But she allows the opportunity for students within our organizations and teachers to be a part of it, to understand the humanistic side of preparing and identifying how to have a holistic approach to a collective and civic duty within this organization. So this month, my champion of change, the individual who has had an awesome legacy to Tad's memory, and the testimony that Kathy's loving heart and generous giving spirit. She is my champion of change this month, and that is Miss Kathy Lawrence. Okay, Ms. Chair, I'm finished. Well, lots to talk about. D3, amend D3. Oh, D2, you said. I can put more slides up.
Oh, okay. I was trying to get the smoke signals there. Okay. Okay. We'll go to the discussion agenda. D1 has been withdrawn. It will be placed on next month's agenda, correct? Yes, ma'am. Okay. D2 is a public hearing to approve as advertised proposed revisions to school board policies 1.05 through 1.13, organization of the district school system, section 1, and a new proposed policy 5.08, risk management. I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here who would like to address this item? If not, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board. I'll entertain a motion.
Ms. Studdard?
Yes.
There is an amendment that I need to make to that before you move.
You said D3.
I know. I was wrong.
D2?
It's D2.
Back up. Okay.
Okay.
All right. This says D3.
I know.
Okay. We'll let you. Oh, okay. Mr. Bickner.
Madam Chair, there are some typographical errors and a couple of words left out in policy 1.11 under section H, which is training and instruction, paragraph 4. There's a word PAN, P-A-N, in line 4 should be plan with an L. In confidentiality, which is subsection I, in I3, the third word in the I3 says identify, and it should be identity. And in the third line, it says the extent possible. In the last line, it should be the fullest extent possible. As to the next page under K, section K, under immunity, the second line, it says in good faith and act of bullying, and need to insert or harassment because it's a bullying or harassment policy.
Okay.
And then at the very bottom of the page, the last line under K, false report about bullying, and need to put an or between bullying and harassment, and then strike out or intimidation. And that's good.
Okay. Mr. Bickner, most of these changes sound like just clean up changes. May we still go ahead and vote on this with the changes made?
Yes, they're just form and Scrivener's errors. They're not substance.
Scrivener's errors, that's what I was trying to think of. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bickner.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm impressed. Good for you.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Now I've brought it back to the board. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move approval with the amendments.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Carricka, second by Mrs. Bullock. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say no. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, the next items, D3 and D4.
Point of order, Madam Chair. I've added D4 to the agenda, not knowing that Mrs. Bullock was going to put something very similar. So I would like to recommend that we just merge the two together.
That's where I was going.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
D3 and D4 are basically the same item, and so it was suggested to me by our attorney that we do combine these, and we have already, on one of them, it was talking about the date for a workshop, and we already have that set for January 29th at 8:30. We have the agenda review, and then we're going to go into that workshop, so we don't really need to discuss.
I would just like to make a comment or two about it.
I thought I would give you and Ms. Carricka both an opportunity to speak on this, but we're just kind of combining these two together because they're basically the same thing.
And they are just discussion items.
Yeah,
So it's
and
not
they're
like
just
taking any
discussion
action.
items. So Ms. Bowler, you want to start, and then I'll turn to Ms.
Sure.
Carricka.
And the reason I had brought this forward, I had been asking for a workshop for a couple of months now regarding not just the safety issue, but also our 1 mil. But with the idea that we were running into some contracts that were going to be expiring within the next few months, I wanted to bring forward the workshop as an agenda item, since I kept asking for a workshop and it didn't seem to be heard, I guess would be the best way of saying that. But within that, the discussion items that I requested in the last meeting during my comments were specific about how we were going to comply with the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Public Safety Act next year. And if we were going to be staying with the current model, if we were going to be moving to possibly getting an SRO in every school, if we were going to be continuing with the current agencies, since we use 3 separate agencies and our own SSOs, and basically what the costs were going to be that were associated with these, and where we were going to go with this. Since the 1 mil was passed, we are not seeing that income at this point, but we will be seeing it at the end of the year. And it's January, and we know how quickly a year passes. So wanting to get the information out and into our hands so that we could discuss it and ultimately make some decisions was my goal at the last meeting in my comments. And I guess the comment during the workshop about I wasn't quite certain what was heard and what wasn't heard. So I wanted to be certain that I outlined exactly what I had said, what I had requested, and where we were going to be going with it. And I just wanted to say thank you also for including this as part of the workshop coming up. So.
Okay, Ms. Karatis?
I completely agree with what Mrs. Bola has in the backup. The questions that she has, that she's posed to the superintendent, you know, what model will we go with it? The 4 models, will we do, 100% SROs? Will we go with the blended model? Will we look at, consider doing this internally ourselves? Those are all the same questions that I had. And what she had there, asking for the cost of, what things are going to cost this coming year compared to last year. I know things have changed. So when we do have the workshop, if you could let us know, if we were to do all SROs, what the cost would be, if we stayed with the blended model, what the cost would be, if we did an internal and created our own police force like Ms. Bola has on here, what the cost would be. The only thing I'd also like to ask, I know that 2 new reports have come out from the state and the federal government this last week and last month. And I just, I'm sure our staff is on top of it, but if there's any adjustments that need to be made for the long range, maybe have somebody look into that for us also. But Mrs. Bola, you nailed it with everything you have with the notes that I was going to ask for. So, I didn't realize you were going to put it on, but it all works out, so it's just fine.
Yeah.
So if when we have the workshop, if somebody can maybe have that available then, or maybe get it to us beforehand so we can look at it and be prepared to discuss, that would be great.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else that we didn't think of?
All right, let me get Ms. Bola's comment, and then I'll
I
turn
just
to
wanted
you.
to throw out a thank you to Dr. Kemp and Mr. Davis and all of us and the county commission for jumping on this as quickly as we did, because in many of the articles that we read in the newspaper also, we find that there are counties who are still striving to meet the requirements of this act. Right. And being on top of that and setting it up as quickly as we were able to was awesome. Right. And being able to say, we're doing whatever we are able to do to protect our children and provide their safety is paramount to what we're doing here.
I'd like to ask one more thing. When you do the breakdown of the cost, I know we get a certain amount for safe schools. The county commission had been contributing. If you could break it down and let us know what those amounts are and how much is then required from the school district, that would be helpful also. That's
Okay, Mr. Davis, you wanted to make some comment?
Yes, ma'am, to the chair. Thank you for pushing us and pushing me and my staff to look at this. I believe that I agree with both of you. Safety is the greatest priority, and I think this entire board agrees with that as well. I will look at, per your direction, at multiple. I bring multiple scenarios for each of you to review. We will do that ahead of time of the workshop, so you have some pre-work to come and ready to roll our sleeves up and put our shoulders to the wheel. Because if we decide to do a different model, then we're going to have to move pretty fast. And I'm okay with whatever the board's direction is. This year we worked hard, and thank you, Dr. Kemp and Bruce Harbin, to work with the sheriff's office and the local entities to make it happen. But we will put a comprehensive report per the request that shows the current model, a blended model. If we were to take on, it sounds like if we would take on something, our own department per the request of the board, I will put that as well, so that you will have all the information financial, so you can make an informed decision. I will say that if it's a point where we have to get this right, and I think now is a perfect time for us to have forecast and vision for this work going in, because August is directly around the corner. So I have prepared for you, each of you. Thank you.
Okay. And as far as the legalities on the law and so forth, Mr. Bittner, this is something I want you to do your homework on and get caught up to snuff to make sure we do everything by the letter of the law, and I know you will.
I'll be up to speed. And there are lawsuits that are ongoing that you need to be aware of as well. There are lawsuits ongoing on this matter as well. So,
and this is where we need you. Okay.
I'll be there.
All right. Now let me ask you this. It has a motion and second on these, but these two were just discussion. We don't really need a vote on these two items. So I'm just going to bypass that. And on D5, human resources, we had no special action. So we can bypass that. Next is D6, a public hearing and vote on adoption of district-wide K through 12 math instructional materials. I do have a card on it, but I'll open the public hearing, and then Ms. Ortega, excuse me. This is your opportunity to speak. This is a public hearing.
Thank you for allowing me to speak.
If you'd state your name and address for the record.
Andrea Ortega, 1331 Holmes Landing Drive, Fleming Island.
Okay.
I just wanted to give you a perspective from a teacher's point of view who has been doing Eureka. This is my second year. And I have to say that even I am it exceeds my expectations for a math program. I've been in the county for 12 years, and the last 7 I've been teaching, the last 5 I was teaching Go Math. And I knew that we definitely needed something with more rigor. And when my principal came to me and asked me if I was willing to do the program, I said yes. And like I said, this is my second year, and it is a complete program. It has so many components that if you truly do the program with fidelity, use all of them, my kids are impressively learning. And it's truly the first time that I feel that my kids know, and what they know is sticking with them. It's not like they leave and they forget everything. It has so many good components to it. So I just wanted to give you my perspective.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I must ask, what school do you teach
Swimming
at?
Pen Creek
Swimming
Elementary.
Pen Creek.
I teach 3rd grade. I'm sorry, I should have said that.
No,
I teach 3rd grade, and I do all the math.
Very good. Well, we love to get input from
We do.
teachers, so thank you for taking the time to come.
You're very welcome. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address this item? Then I will close the public hearing and bring it back to the board. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move approval.
Have a motion by Ms. Carricka.
Second.
Second by Ms. Bola. Well, y'all tried, okay.
try to behave.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say no. Motion carries 4-0. Ms. Bullock, you have to be real fast around here.
I know. I know.
Okay. Motion carries 4-0. Okay. D7, public hearing to approve as advertised a new proposed school board policy 1.14, religious expressions in public schools. I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here who wishes to address this item? If not, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board. I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval. I'm letting them have the floor.
I so move.
All right. Ms. Bullock made the motion. Okay.
Second.
And a second by Ms. Bola. Hey, we're going to be patient. We've got to get used to this. All right. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries 4-0.
Look at us cruising along here.
Can you believe that we're just sitting and looking at Miss Bullock until she?
I know.
I love it. We wanted you to have an opportunity.
Thank you. I'm so
Okay.
grateful.
School board attorney remarks, Mr. Bickner, you have none. School board member remarks, Ms. Bola.
I would be happy to begin. First of all, welcome, Mr. Bickner. It's good to see you again, and I look forward to working with you. Couple of shout outs. I always like my shout outs, sorry. But Mr. Pope at Wilkinson Junior High invited me to come speak to his classes. And I just wanted to say thank you. It was eye-opening to hear what the students want different here in our county. Obviously, it has to do with dress code, the
gotcha.
apples in the cafeteria, and a few other things. And it was a hoot because I ate in the cafeteria at Wilkinson Junior. And it was wonderful. It was a good experience. I was exhausted at the end of the day. So those of you who have come back to your first day of teaching for the second semester, I'm there with you. And I know that you're probably sleeping by now and relaxing and putting your feet up and getting ready for tomorrow. But it's another semester and it'll be exciting. Oak Leaf Winter Band Concert was phenomenal. These people come in off the marching band circuit and put on a Christmas concert, and I felt like I was at the Thrasher Horn with a regular ensemble. I mean, it was in the cafetorium, and it was amazing. Along with, and then going over to Ridgeview High School's concert, choral concert, and having all of the students sing individually and together. And once again, it was an evening that was very, very fun. Spelling bees were happening at Argyle and W.E. Cherry. I enjoyed doing the spelling bees there. Looking forward to the spelling bee coming up on
January
24th. You're right, January 24th. And it was fun serving Christmas lunch at Bannerman. What a hoot. And those students and faculty and everyone were awesome.
Next
and
time I'm
no,
gonna get the
I call
rose.
the doorway. No.
I'm going to stand by the door and get the rose. They put me where the hot dishes with the lights, and there was water rolling down my face onto my chest, and my hair was wet. And Mary was just so cool. The breeze was blowing on
It was
her,
a
and she
wonderful
handed
cross
out a
breeze.
rose.
What do you want?
And I'm dipping from 4 different hot dishes and the steam. Yeah.
It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say, all of the people there were were a hoot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Jaguars play 60 at Lakeside Elementary. I actually tackled a dummy, and I was very proud of it. Speaking of athletics and sports, I have given each of you a copy. You have until January 15th, next week, big day, to sign up for the virtual marathon. I'm happy to say I've already started my marathon. I'm walking, not running it. I will not run a marathon probably in the near future, but I am going to walk this marathon for January, and the proceeds go to Orange Park High. So I'm throwing it out there. I've been talking about it again, but wanted to make sure that you're all aware of it again. Concerts coming up on January 25th, January 28th, the All-County Band, February 2nd. It's going to be a phenomenal month, and we're going to end this month on January 31st with our Teacher and Support Employee Event of the Year at the Thrasher Horn. And you all received an invitation for that. I hope you all, it's in that brown envelope, so make certain that you read that. I'm looking forward to that. It should be a wonderful evening. So I think that's it.
Okay, Ms. Bullock.
Sure. Could I put a no solicitation on my computer for next time? We did have a great time at Bannerman serving food. I got coleslaw. Can you imagine? I'm next to mac and cheese. How popular coleslaw was? That's correct. So I was actually in competition with a young man next to me who had salad. I think he had 3 and I had 3. So but we had a great time and we appreciate it. But however, if you get an invitation to Bannerman, It's for serving lunch, not eating lunch.
Now, they did feed us afterwards. We got to eat what
They
was
did
left.
feed us afterwards. That's correct.
We ate what was left.
That's right. So
And it
we
was
did have a great
good.
time. I'd like to send out a little shout out to Haley Julius. She was on several weeks ago. She was on ESPN as the number 6 shot. She right at the buzzer. I know you tweeted about it, and I responded to it, so that was great. And she also said, I think I commented that she was not only athletic, but she also is beautiful. She was a homecoming queen at Keystone Heights High School as well.
that?
Right, and the homecoming queen, not to leave king, to leave him out, Dan Dodd. But we had a great time, and of course tonight we had 2 athletes from Keystone High School, so I'm very, very proud of them. So thank you.
All right, Ms. Kirikas.
My turn. Well, there's not much left. I will talk about Bannerman because they really do it right every
That's
year.
right.
They've been doing
They
that
had a
for,
fun
I
time.
think it's 20 years now. Next year, I'm bringing my carving knives.
You did a good job.
Because I was carving the turkeys, and they handed me this very dull knife at first, so I'm bringing my own next year. But they do a great job there. So I'm hoping everybody had a wonderful, almost 3-week break and back and ready to go. And Miss Richardson's over there smiling. I know she's happy to be back. But like to also welcome Mr. Bickner back. Glad we're in good hands and happy that you're here. And if there's anything you need from us, you just let us know. I would like to just recognize Kathy. You recognized Miss Lawrence as your champion of change.
Yeah,
And
great.
you don't know the half of what that lady does.
Yep.
And SEDNet is just, it's one of the programs in our district, but she's responsible for 3 districts. And she is changing kids' lives, and she really makes a difference every day. You know, we get to go home, put her head down, her phone's still ringing. She's out at 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe finding a place for a student. I mean, she's remarkable. And Kathy, that champion of change doesn't even begin to say how much I think of you and how much I appreciate everything you do for our students, because you really do make a difference. So
Absolutely.
I'd just like to say thank you, thank you,
You're
thank you.
here.
And I was blessed to be a part of Tad's Toys with her. And that scary snowman, she's responsible for that. Anyway, thank you, Kathy. So wish everybody a good start of this next semester.
Okay. It's good to be back. It seems like with Christmas and New Year's and the holidays, it was forever. It was like I started missing everybody. But Ms. Bola has gone through the calendar for the next month. Everybody's going to be very busy. Mr. Bickner, thank you for what you have done since you've been back with us. You did a good catch on a couple things already. I appreciate it and look forward to working with you. And Ms. Lawrence, Mr. Davis could not have picked a finer candidate to honor tonight. And thank you for what you do for kids. And I know y'all are all waiting with bated breath. I wore my houndstooth pants just to show you that I am still a Bama girl. Now, when you've been up to the very top, the only way you can go is just down a little bit, but we'll be back, I promise you. And with that, I'll just say roll tide, and the meeting is adjourned.